Hi everyone, today we're talking about why Facebook will go to $250 a share. Now this is kind of my prediction why I think Facebook will go up to $250 a share over the next kind of year, 12 months. I believe that Facebook should go to 250. And I'm going to give you a few reasons why, and just to let you know in case you don't watch my videos all the time, I am currently a shareholder in Facebook and I'll kind of talk about my position if I'm going to add into my Facebook position a little bit later on in the video. Now, I bought into Facebook after one of its recent dips that it's had. It's had a lot of, a massive year of negative news, really, and all the negative news that's come out has really beaten the stock down. And the stock was on quite a good run for a while, and it's kind of pulling back a bit recently, but it has had a bit of a rough time with a lot of negative news that's been coming out. And obviously, that always happens with major companies, especially the companies that are kind of like how Facebook is, where they're handling a lot of personal data like that. There's always going to be a lot of heavy settlements that come out and they have to sort that out. And Facebook over the last few years have really been trying to deal with that and trying to make things better for the users, and they're kind of trying to play ball a lot more. And these sort of things should come a lot less common in the future for Facebook, which is one of the really positive things that I'll talk about a little bit later on. So first of all, Facebook. Now I'm not going to say what Facebook is because I'm sure if you're watching this video you'll know what this is, but it is the biggest player in its sector and there's not much competition out there to try and go for Facebook. Facebook I can't see being knocked off as the number one social media player for definitely for a long time, and it should be around for a long time as well. Obviously the next player is going to be Twitter, and Twitter have kind of now got to the point where they've given up trying to catch up with Facebook, and Twitter have now made a war that it's basically trying to make more money per user than what Facebook does. That's what Twitter have now gone for because they've realised they're not going to catch Facebook overall. But Facebook as well, it's such a massive platform. Whenever you talk about Facebook stock, you always hear people talking about Facebook this, Facebook that. But the simple thing is that you've always going to forget that actually Facebook owns all the big, really, apart from Twitter, a lot of the big social media players out there. So if you're not on Facebook, especially I think like a lot of the younger generation are kind of going to Instagram now. They also own Instagram, and with Facebook as well, they never actually like talk about Instagram. They don't talk about how many users it has, how many more users are joining Instagram. And honestly, I think really think that if Facebook were to release them numbers, they would be a lot better than what people expect, because I feel like Instagram's now coming like the number one social media platform in my opinion, and we don't really even know much what's going on about Instagram overall when Facebook talks about earnings, because it's just about the Facebook platform. So when you consider that, it's an absolute massive player in the social media sector overall. Now, how does Facebook make all this money, all this revenue, and why do I think it's such a good stock? I generally think that Facebook is probably like one of the top 5 stocks in the stock market right now. If not in the top 5, it would definitely be in the top 10. It's an absolute beast, and that's because of the adverts it does. Most of its revenue comes from adverts, and that's how they make most of the money. Now, many people that might be watching this video might not actually realise why it makes so much money from adverts, but I can tell you right now, if you are a company and you are wanting to advertise some sort of product, service, the best platform to advertise is Facebook, 100%. You've got your classic kind of like newspaper advertisements, your TV advertisements, but they're very easy to like avoid. When adverts come on TV, you go out of the room. Even though people are still paying massive amount, look at the amount of money that they're paying for like Super Bowl adverts at the moment. But to be honest with you, like, you can either skip it or you go get some food, you get a drink when them adverts come on. With Facebook, it's quite hard to not look at the adverts. They kind of always put it in your way. You've got to click off. You've got to scroll past it. And the great thing as well, as I know this from a company's point of view, is that they can actually target the adverts. There's no way that you can target on TV. You might be able to put it on a channel that has a younger audience, but or you can actually, when you advertise on Facebook, you can put it down to the age you want, the location you want, the gender you want, groups that they've liked. Facebook is huge. And another thing as well is that you can build people seeing the advert and then clicking on your Facebook page and then liking it, and you can retain them customers for a very long time. You can't do that in a newspaper advert or a TV advert. So that's something totally amazing that you can't do on any other advert platform. And more recently, you're seeing a lot more companies pay a lot more for advertising on Facebook, and that's starting to go up to where it should be. I still think that adverts on Facebook are dead cheap when you look at prices that you'd pay somewhere else. But on Facebook, they're still pretty cheap, but they are starting to rise up slightly. But there's a lot more room for them prices to go up, with a lot more major companies starting to advertise on Facebook. And when we talk about all the platforms that have, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, some of the biggest and popular apps right there out now. A lot of these platforms are hardly, monetized at the moment. Facebook is kind of like heavily getting there, and then they fell behind because of the stories. But like, you got your Instagram. WhatsApp hardly has any kind of adverts on at all. Same with Messenger. So there's a lot more use they could make out of all these platforms to advertise still. And like the daily active users, the money they make from actual users is still pretty low, and that can all increase as well. It's still behind Twitter's right now. And Facebook definitely has the potential to increase that. One thing that I feel like is hardly talked about with Facebook, even though it's absolutely amazing, is the balance sheet. The balance sheet on Facebook is amazing because when you look at it, all they have to do is kind of like pay a studio to look after a website, and it's pretty simple really, and the profit margins are insane because of that. Balance sheet wise, because they've got so much money, that means they can go out and buy a lot of companies. Hopefully they'll make like a big purchase at some point for another company, because it's been a while since they've done it. But the balance sheet is amazing. They're very slow at doing things at Facebook side of it. So buybacks for shares only started happening about 2 years ago, I think it was. Facebook potentially could look at down the lines of a dividend at some point, but they are slow doing these things. So it might be a while until we see a dividend, but there is a potential for a dividend to come out of Facebook at some point because of its amazing balance sheet and just looking to do something with all the money they have. Like I said, trying to do it right. Facebook is obviously definitely over the last year trying to do things correct now, which should lead to less fines, a lot of negative use that comes out of it, and hold the stocks back. They are trying to do things a lot better, which is good. So that's the only negative side of the company kind of like dealt with now. And also, daily active users has been one of the things that has been talked about Facebook for a while, that they've been going down. Is it the end of Facebook? But the latest earnings, show that Facebook's daily active users is going steadily increasing still. And I've always said, like, we're never going to see a big massive jump in Facebook users again joining the platform, because I think the majority of people really have Facebook now. When we look at it, there's so many people that do have Facebook, let's not forget that. And there's always kind of like the younger generation that will come through, and they'll just keep pushing the users up going forward, but not by loads. But it's still an active platform with quite a few people steadily joining the platform. So the daily active user side of it is pretty safe, and that's kind of thing that's been talked about a bit negative recently, that it's on the decrease and it could be the end of Facebook. But the latest earnings kind of like shoved that little negative use under like the carpet for a little bit, so that's good news. So overall, my opinion with Facebook, obviously I hold this stock. I don't have any plans to sell the stock unless it got to 250, because that's where I believe is a fair valuation for this stock over the next 12 months. Do I have any plans to add into position at Facebook? I do, but it is quite... I like to buy quite low down. So if Facebook was to have another pullback, then I would buy. But it still, in my opinion, has a $60 upside. So if I feel like there's not many stocks that would offer me that potential for a $60 gain a share, then maybe I would invest in Facebook. But in my opinion, it's a massive buy now. It's a great company. It offers great revenue growth, great EPS growth. So I'm a big fan of the company overall. And like I say, if there wasn't many opportunities out there to buy other stocks, I would add into my Facebook position. And if you were to buy Facebook, I would say it's a great move, because it's a great company that will definitely go up in value over the next year to 5 years for sure, if you're a long-term investor like me. So that's the video talking about Facebook, guys. If you're looking at investing into Facebook at some point, I hope it did help you. Thanks for watching. Obviously the support on the channel has been absolutely amazing recently. We're like to 240 subscribers now, which is fantastic. So thank you for that. I really enjoy making the videos with all the support. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.